Mark, first of all, looking back on the defeat to Leeds Rhinos, I don't know, in a situation like that, do you learn more about your side from a defeat than necessarily you do from the week before in that fantastic win over KR?
Yeah, I know, I get what you're saying 100%. I think you learn every week, but it was definitely a great learning curve for us in terms of where we want to be this season. I thought we were right in it in that 30-minute mark at 6 apiece, and it was a great lesson on concentration and not letting momentum swing too much against you. Leeds are a quality outfit, and then what were it, 3 tries in 8 minutes cost us dearly. That changes you going in at half time, let's say at 6 apiece or 10-6, or and it's a completely different half-time team talk and probably a different feeling in the dressing room. Instead of chasing 3 scores, you're only either equal or 1 score behind. And I just think we left ourselves far much to do against a quality outfit like Leeds, and a great learning opportunity for us, and we've just got to make sure we do learn from it and put them lessons into practice on Friday night.
Yeah, as you mentioned there, you were 6-all up until the 30-minute mark. Up until that point, were you quite pleased with how things were going and the overall balance of the game? Yeah,
it was a pretty fast game, to be fair. Both teams were playing it in the right manner, and the rucks are obviously nice and quick now, and I just felt that them 2 scores, just at the back end of that half, and then obviously that third one just right before half time, cost us dearly. But as I say, we knew that there were going to be some pretty harsh lessons for us this year, and that definitely were one in terms of game management and keeping that momentum with you when you get the chance. And fair play to Leeds. I thought they served up a good lesson for us there, and we'll take a lot of heart in certain things that we did, but we'll also have to stiffen a few things up if we want to achieve what we want to achieve this year.
And you often talk about earning the right to play at times. It felt like at times you were trying to force the ball, especially out wide. It may have been on 5th and last, but when the pass wasn't quite there, those kind of 70-30 passes, the offload, do you as a coach give the players the licence to play that way? Or as a former forward, does that sort of frustrate you as well?
No, and that's pretty much what we're on about with the momentum shifts. I think, when you're losing a game, sometimes you chase it when you don't need to chase it, and that was definitely a lesson for us all. But yeah, listen, I'll back my players 100%. When they cross that whitewash, it's fully over to them to express themselves, and we trust them fully to do that. And as I say, it's just a really good lesson for us. At Super League level, we can't be as wasteful, shall we say, with possession and territory as we probably were. So that's definitely something we'll need to fix up come Friday night.
You were without Pata Hingano in the halves on Friday night as well. I think a tight calf was the prognosis. Is he available for Hull FC this week?
We don't know yet. We're hoping to be. He'll be in the squad. He's there or thereabouts. It's pretty much where he was at. It's one of them. We don't want to risk him too early. If he's no good, he's no good. But we'll give him till the last minute, because he's obviously a key player for us. And what are we on now, round 3? We just don't want to play someone that's going in at 50% fit, or a bit of a risk, and then turning a 2-week injury into a 6-week injury. So if he gets through all his markers all right in training this week, we'll play him. If not, we'll go with a different route and just play him when he's feeling 100%.
Nico Williams filled in for him. I know he's a bit of a utility player. You can play him in a couple of different spots. He played in the centres against KR. How do you think he did at that position?
I thought he did really well. Nico's he'll put his hand up and play wherever. I'll be honest with you. It was probably me with my team selection. I should have probably left Nico in that centre spot, because I thought he played really well there at Hull KR. I don't think Nico played particularly bad. I just thought he really excelled when I played him at centre as well. So there's definitely a bit of food for thought as a coach there in my team selection. But in terms of Nico, listen, he's an exceptional talent. He'll play wherever you tell him, and he's got a real cool head on his shoulders, and I love everything what he's about.
I know that you've spoken about it being a tough choice between Danny Richardson kind of coming in. Do you think in some ways he was maybe unlucky to miss out, but I guess in some ways you can't often afford the luxury of putting another back on the bench, can you?
Yeah, that's it. And listen, Danny's been training really well. You know, it were a pretty tough selection call last week, and how Danny responded to that is exactly how you'd expect you know, a model professional such as Danny to do. And Danny's got some exceptional ability, and yeah, as I say, this week may give him a run out. You know, we'll see how we do in training rest of week, but he's definitely been training the house down, and he looks primed and ready for an opportunity.
And Den Bamforth as well, on loan from Hull FC. Is he available to play against his parent club?
Yes, yeah. Deneve's all good, so yeah, looking forward to you know, to that matchup for sure.
As a young player, what have you made to his first couple of Super League outings, and how do you think he kind of plays the level?
Yeah, look, I've known Deneve since he was 16 years of age. He played injured for us in the Hull KR game. Obviously, ran on the field with a bit of an Achilles bump, and played 15 minutes with that in the back of his head, just to give Macca that breathing space that he needed. And then obviously we were nursing it still a bit last week, but he's finally got that under control. And yeah, listen, we know what Deneve will do when he's fully fit and firing. And you know, as I said, I love everything what he's about as a person, everything what he's about as a player, and just really glad that I'm working with him again, and looking forward to seeing him develop.
In some ways, he couldn't ask for a better mentor in the likes of Paul McShane, could he?
Yeah, definitely. I think as a young kid, if you've got someone like Paul McShane in front of you, it's a great learning experience for you, isn't it? Especially not just what he can still do as a player, but his knowledge that he's got up there, and he's more than willing to sit with any of our young nines and you know, and distribute some of that knowledge to them. So that's one of the beauties of having a player such as Paul McShane, or you know, another old Eddie and Geordie Thompson. You know, they're willing to share what knowledge they've picked up through their years and pass it on to that next generation as well.
You mentioned Geordie there, a 200 Super League game against Leeds Rhinos. I know it wouldn't have gone quite the way that he wanted, but for him to get on the try sheet as well, you must have been quite pleased with the go forward that Geordie gave you.
Listen, I know what I'm getting with Geordie every single week. He's York through and through, and you know, he's probably one of the, if not the first name on my team sheet. And you know, Geordie's still doing 80 minutes in Super League, how he did there. You know, not only playing for the duration, but how he goes about his business too is a credit to himself. You know, and what he's about, and just absolutely love working with him again. And you know, disappointed we couldn't get that win for Geordie's 200th, but you know, we're doing everything we can to rectify that on Friday night.
On Hull FC as opponents, I think it's the first time your club has faced them since 1997, so it's been a while since they met in a competitive game anyway. What do you make to them as an opposition, looking at obviously the round 1 and round 2 matches?
Yeah, listen, I think obviously they'll be disappointed with how things went against Wigan. I thought the Bradford game were a real entertaining game. You know, obviously devastating news on young Will Price, and you know, his thoughts go out to Will and his family there, and you know, wish him a speedy recovery. I'm sure he'll smash his rehab and be back better than ever. But to go back to your point on Hull FC, I think they're a dangerous team with some talented players in there. You know, they've got a great bunch of youngsters that are now making that transition into Super League. They've got some lads that have just probably got over that transition into Super League and now can call themselves established Super League players, that they've got the best years in front of them. You know, they've got some household names, obviously a few still out, but you look at guys like John Asiata, who may or may not be back. You know, they make a big difference to that team, and we know that Hull will want a response as well, similar to ourselves. You know, they've got a bit of a score put on them, and you know, we're looking forward to locking arms with them, and may the best team win on Friday night.
It's another visit to another big stadium, the MKM. No doubt the atmosphere will be a big one once again. How much have you enjoyed, I guess, seeing how the players respond to those big, you know, evening kickoffs and big atmospheres like we saw at Headingley last week?
Yeah, well, it's one of them. It's a game of rugby at the end of the day. It's always nice to play in a a good atmospheric stadium. But from a coaching point of view, all I'm bothered about is how we perform. I'm sure as a player you do miss playing in decent venues. But yeah, from a coaching point of view, all we focus on is the performance. And Hull's a passionate rugby league city, both FC and KR. They've got noisy supporters who get fully behind the team, and I'm sure it'll be no different on Friday night. They'll fully be out in numbers, and as you say, we're looking forward to going there and locking arms with them.
And you could also see a former knight in Connor Bailey coming up against Hull for the first time since his move to East Yorkshire over the summer, a player that you obviously know all about. Yeah,
listen, Connor, absolute key part of our team last year, and we were sorry to see him go, and we wish him all the best, just not on Friday night. So he's a player again. Connor, I first signed Connor as a 14-year-old into the scholarship, and to see how he's flourished into now a Super League players, really pleasing to see. And I'm sure over the course of the year we'll show everyone, obviously what we know he's capable of, with what we saw last year as well.
Brilliant. Thank you, Mash.
Thank you.